Have you ever wondered about the roots and fundamental tenets of Stoicism and its impact on personal development? Today, we journey back in time to the birth of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that advocates acceptance and inner peace. Originating in Athens in the 3rd century BC, Stoicism is not about holding back emotions, but rather comprehending and managing them effectively. These doctrines, when applied consistently, can play a transformative role in personal growth. By living the Stoic way, we learn to make peace with the uncontrollable, concentrate on what's within our power, and comprehend the significance of our responses. It's about uncovering wisdom in each circumstance of its complexity. This method not only strengthens our resilience, but also guides us to lead a life aligned with our ethics and aspirations. It's an expedition of growth, self-enhancement, and illumination. Today we'll discover the compelling tales of individuals who have implemented Stoic principles in their daily lives remarkably. Meet John, a man who believed in the power of small, consistent steps. John wasn't always the successful entrepreneur we know today. He started with nothing more than a dream and a relentless determination to make it a reality. Picture this: John, fresh out of college, with a world of potential but no clear direction. He had grand dreams, yes, but they seemed too distant, too daunting. But John had a secret weapon. He had discovered the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, and it was this philosophy that would guide him on his path to success. Stoicism taught John to focus on what he could control. He couldn't control the economy, the job market, or the reactions of others, but he could control his actions, his mindset, his dedication. So, John began taking small, consistent steps towards his dreams. He read books, attended seminars, sought out mentors. He started his own business from his bedroom, working long hours into the night. John's journey wasn't smooth sailing. There were hurdles, setbacks, and moments of self-doubt. But John remembered the Stoic principle of endurance. He knew that these obstacles were not stumbling blocks, but stepping stones on the path to his goal. Each challenge was a chance to learn, to grow, to become stronger. And so John persisted. Each day, he took another small step, and over time those small steps added up. His business began to grow. He hired his first employee, then his second, then his 10th. His dream, once so distant, was becoming a reality. John's story is not one of overnight success. It's a story of small, consistent steps taken day after day, year after year. It's a story of a man who understood the power of focusing on what he could control and letting go of what he couldn't. John's story is a testament to the power of small steps and Stoicism. It's a reminder that success is not a destination, but a journey. And it's the small, consistent steps we take on that journey that lead us to our goals. Now, let's turn to Sarah, a woman who used Stoicism to overcome her anxiety. Sarah's journey with anxiety was a long and challenging one. She found herself constantly worried about the future, the past, and things she couldn't control. Her mind was a whirlwind of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, leaving her feeling overwhelmed and powerless. But then, she discovered Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has survived the test of time. Stoicism, at its core, is about accepting the things we cannot control and focusing on the things we can. It's about living in the present moment rather than getting lost in the past or future. For Sarah, this was a game changer. She began to understand that she couldn't control the future or change the past. She realized that her energy was better spent on her present actions and reactions. This shift in perspective didn't happen overnight, but slowly, Sarah began to feel a sense of control over her life again. She started practicing mindfulness, a key Stoic principle. Instead of letting her mind wander to her worries, she focused on the here and now. She took notice of her surroundings, her feelings, and her thoughts. This practice helped her become more aware of her anxiety triggers and taught her to respond, not react, to her anxious thoughts. Sarah also found strength in the Stoic principle of amor fati, or love of fate. Instead of fearing the future, she embraced it, accepting whatever came her way as part of her journey. She found that this acceptance brought her peace and helped her manage her anxiety. And finally, she learned to view her struggles not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. She saw her anxiety as a challenge to be overcome, a chance to build resilience and strength. This shift in mindset, this acceptance of struggle as a part of life, is a fundamental aspect of Stoicism. Sarah's journey is a powerful example of how Stoicism can help us overcome anxiety. By applying Stoic principles, we too can learn to accept what we cannot control, focus on the present, and see our struggles as opportunities for growth. And in doing so, we can find the strength to manage our anxiety and live a more peaceful, fulfilling life. Let's now explore how Tom mastered the art of saying no using Stoicism. Tom, like many of us, found himself constantly swamped with requests, tasks, and obligations. He was a yes man, always agreeing to help, participate, or contribute, even when it was to his own detriment. Tom's life was a whirlwind of commitments. He was always on the go, with no time for himself or his own needs. His health, relationships, and personal growth were all suffering. Then Tom discovered Stoicism. He learned about the Stoic principle of amor fati, or love of fate, which encourages acceptance of everything that happens in life, including the ability to say no. Tom began to realize that saying yes to everything was not a sign of generosity or strength, but rather a failure to establish boundaries and prioritize his own needs. He started to practice the art of no, using the Stoic principles of self-control and inner peace. He discovered that no was not a rejection, but a powerful tool for maintaining his own well-being and personal growth. Every time he was faced with a new request or task, Tom asked himself, is this essential for my growth or happiness? If the answer was no, he found the courage to decline. He began to see no as a way to say yes to what truly mattered: his health, his relationships, and his personal development. Over time, Tom's life began to change. He had more time for himself, his stress levels decreased, and he was able to focus on his own growth and well-being. His relationships improved as he learned to prioritize quality over quantity, and he found himself feeling more fulfilled and content. Tom's story is a powerful reminder that saying no is not a rejection, but a commitment to oneself. It's a testament to the power of Stoicism, showing us how we can use its principles to establish boundaries, prioritize our needs, and improve our lives. Remember, every no is a yes to something more important. Tom's story shows the power of saying no and the role Stoicism can play in that. Finally, let's meet Emily, a woman who used Stoicism to bounce back after a major setback. Emily's world turned upside down when she lost her job. She felt a wave of despair wash over her, and for a while she felt stuck in the throes of uncertainty. But amidst these trying times, Emily discovered the philosophy of Stoicism. She learned that the Stoics believed in focusing on what one could control and accepting what one couldn't. They viewed setbacks not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and learning. Emily decided to apply these principles to her situation. Instead of dwelling on the loss of her job, something she had no control over, she focused on what she could control: her response to the situation. She began by accepting her situation, not as a defeat, but as a chance to redirect her life's path. She committed herself to daily routines, creating order amidst the chaos. She stopped negative habits that were draining her energy, like overthinking and self-doubt, and started managing her time wisely. She surrounded herself with positive influences, people who uplifted her and welcomed change, understanding that it was an inevitable part of life. Emily also learned to say no to non-essentials, things that weren't contributing to her growth or happiness. By doing so, she created space for opportunities that aligned with her values and goals. Slowly but surely, Emily began to see a shift. The despair that once consumed her started to fade. In its place, she found resilience, she found strength, and most importantly, she found herself again. In the face of her setback, Emily didn't just bounce back, she soared. She turned her setback into a comeback, using it as a stepping stone to a better, stronger, more resilient self. She is a testament to the power of Stoicism, a shining example of how embracing difficulty, focusing on what one can control and letting go of what one can't, can transform one's life. Emily's story is an inspiring example of resilience and the power of Stoicism. So remember, when life throws you a curveball, channel your inner Emily. Embrace the setback and use it as a stepping stone to bounce back higher than before. What can we learn from these inspiring stories? As we journey through life, the principles of Stoicism offer us a compass to navigate its challenges. Starting with small steps, we learn that every great journey begins with a single stride. Overcoming anxiety, we discover that our fears are often larger in our minds than in reality. By saying no to non-essentials, we prioritize what truly matters and manage our time wisely. Embracing difficulty, we understand that growth comes from discomfort. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we cultivate an environment conducive to personal growth. Welcoming change, we realize that life is in a constant state of flux and adaptability is key. Lastly, bouncing back after setbacks, we recognize that failure is not the end, but rather a stepping stone to success. These Stoic principles are not mere theories, but practical tools we can apply in our daily lives. Remember, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a tool for personal growth. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories and practical tips.